Victory Monday. It's Mr. Irrelevant. I'm Josh DiMaggio. Alongside me, my friend, one-time friend, maybe not friend by the end of this show, Will Sommers joins me. Alex STROUF today is out with a debilitating hangnail. Can't attend the show.
A big paper cut.
Couldn't face the music today. We've got a lot to get to, and I need both you and Hunter to hold me accountable today, because I'm very much in enemy territory today.
Yeah.
I got a Bears fan in the room with me.
And you're around two people that don't get to experience this too often and don't know how to act when they win games or tie games, I guess.
Yes. So we've got the Bear fans across from me there, and then we've got the Cowboys fan who did or didn't watch the game yesterday, Hunter.
I watched overtime because you guys were not good friends and didn't tell me how close this game was. So I wish I would have seen more of the game, but the Cowboys won. This was absolutely a win. I mean, the Packers might be ass. That's how bad this was for Green Bay. I feel great today.
Yeah, I wish I had a better way to fight you there. I wish I had more fervor. I don't think the Packers are ass. Do I think they're potentially Super Bowl frauds? I think they might be. I think there's a potential. Do they have an issue at their head coach and his game management? Very well be. Do they perhaps need to fire their special teams coordinator like 2 weeks ago? That also as well. There's a lot of things we got to get to. So I want to make sure we get to Matt LaFleur managing a game. I want to make sure we get to what the hell happened on defense, giving up a 40-burger to the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. And then my arch nemesis, the guy I've been railing against for pretty much the entirety of his career since joining the Green Bay Packers. That's Rich Bisaccia and the special teams. First, we'll go back to Hunter. You said this feels like a win, and I think... And there's going to be a little bit of insult in here as well, while I'm also going to give you credit. For a team like the Cowboys, in the current status they are, a tie against the Packers at home on Sunday night is absolutely a win. Yeah. I'm taking it like a devastating loss. It feels terrible. It feels gross. It's making me question all the things I thought after 3 weeks, even with the Browns' loss included in that. So, Hunter, I know you want to blame us for not texting you. I was very much not looking at my phone. I didn't want to see what was happening. I didn't want to see what the people on Twitter were saying. So I'll take a little hand-up accountability. I will point to the fact that it's your team and you got to watch it, and you were too stubborn, and then you missed probably what's going to be your Super Bowl.
It was awesome. George Pickens was awesome.
He is awesome.
I know. I guess my point here.
When did you tune in?
Literally as McManus hit the field goal to send it to overtime.
Okay.
I did see the Josh Jacobs touchdown because my wife was like, you should watch this game. And I was like, no, I don't need to watch it. I know, like, this isn't good.
So she was watching it, but you weren't?
Correct.
Okay. He's really stubborn on this.
Yeah, I honestly thought there was no way the Cowboys would even be within a score in this game. So I'm like, I don't need to see this. I don't need to watch it.
It looked like that, by the way. I don't know if you've gone back or will go back. For the first quarter and a half, it looked like it was going to be a boat race.
First drive.
Yeah.
I was like, all right.
The defense looked dominant against the Cowboys. And then the offense seemed to be moving the ball at will. Matthew Golden had a nearly 50-yard reception, and both him and Dontavian Wicks were in the same area, and both would have caught the ball.
Either of them could have caught it. I think Wicks, literally, if it went through Golden's hands, Wicks would have caught it.
Yes. So that's how it started. So just so you know, you missed that. It definitely was a tale of two games. Everything changed at the point of the decision of Matt LaFleur to punt it in Cowboys territory towards the end of the second quarter, on a 4th and short, a spot where it probably would have called for aggressive. And then when they get the ball back, because they let the Cowboys score so GD fast, with 25 seconds left, after, was it a holding or a false start penalty? Matt LaFleur then decides to go aggressive and strip sack. Vikings have the ball. We're stuck again. So that was all that happened in the first half. The second half was just trading touchdowns and field goals.
It was reminiscent of that. I think it was the Chiefs Chargers or Chiefs Rams, like that Thursday night color rush game where it was just points, big play after big play. It was awesome.
Yes.
It was actually great to watch. But going back to the Matt LaFleur thing, I think I tweeted this during the game. It seems like he just was choosing all the wrong moments to be overly aggressive and then not aggressive enough. Like it seemed like it changed every single play, whether he wanted to be aggressive or not even by the drive. Just, maybe this play will try to score a touchdown. All right, let's pump the brakes here and let's ease up and take a knee and go into the half. So
yeah, that's the thing that has frustrated me the past 2 weeks the most. And it's something that I think has sort of started happening in the Jordan Love era. And Matt LaFleur says like his decisions to go for it on fourth down or when to be aggressive, when to call shots is all a gut-based thing. As we know, in 2025, there are analytics people that you employ that get into your headset that tell you like, hey, it's plus X to go for it here. It's like there's people that are in his ear telling him what he's supposed to do. And he said himself, I believe it was last season, he said it when these same exact questions came up. He said, I just trust my gut in that. I have the information, but I typically go with my gut. And it seems like he has pulled this season through 4 games all the wrong strings. We mentioned the situation there. Last week we had instead of deciding to run the ball with a defense that's held the Cleveland Browns to everything, to nothing throughout the day, he then decides, I'm going to throw it, which turned into an interception and ultimately led to them losing the game. And then we have the entire, let's say, overtime scenario where he seemed to once again pull all the wrong levers. I thought Jordan Love made a great play, getting the ball to Matthew Golden on fourth down. And then they get into the red zone, and out of fear,
I think Manuel Wilson got a carry with 12 seconds left.
Yes.
I believe I wrote that down.
Yeah, out of fear of the Cowboys kicker, who's a great kicker, mind you.
Yes.
Great kicker.
Phenomenal.
Probably the best in the league. They decide to not go for a touchdown or sort of half-ass it in a way, because a touchdown ends the game. And it feels like Matt LaFleur either was just untrusting of Jordan Love in that spot, or he didn't know that he could win the game.
Which was weird because Jordan Love, specifically the offense, was what was keeping you in the game the entire time. It was Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, Romeo Doubs were your 3 guys that were consistently getting you down the field. And like you said, trading touchdowns to keep you in the game because your defense couldn't stop the Cowboys.
Yeah, just that whole end of game sequence is bizarre to me. I think the players obviously have some accountability on what ended up being ostensibly good luck and good fortune that the clock operator was so quick with his trigger finger on stopping the clock.
Ended with what, 1 second?
Yes.
Like that last shot at the end zone?
And just that, how the way that whole scenario played out, it seemed like Matt LaFleur had reserved himself and had just conceded this is going to be a tie and we're going to get out of here. They had plenty of time on the clock to take some shots at the end zone, to stretch a defense who, to this point, has made every quarterback they've faced look like an MVP. And we'll get to the Packers defense here eventually, but to play for a field goal like that is just utterly confounding to me. Like, go win the damn game. Our conversation could have been, holy cow, that was way too close for comfort, but Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur put together a drive to finish the game and get the team a much-needed win.
I think there were 2 turning points in the game, and both of them had to do with poor aggression by Matt LaFleur. The first one being the one you mentioned, the 4th and 2 at midfield.
Yeah.
It felt like that was in a position where if you go for that,
Step on the throat
put them
type
away.
thing, yeah.
Because the Packers what we've seen so far this year, and even going back to last year, is they play up and down with their competition. They never put the team away.
Right.
They're just right with them. So that felt like a moment to me where you could have gone for it, established your dominance on offense, and really, I mean, what was it, 7-0? So they would have been up 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And then the end of the half.
Yeah.
What the hell was that?
Yeah.
You gave the Cowboys all the life they needed to be back in this game. You gave them the ball inside the 5.
Yeah, Matt LaFleur, before, actually after they went to halftime, he was interviewed, and he basically blamed the offense for it. And it was like, well, yeah, you also had something to do with that. I got
the exact quote right here. 7 is on the offense right there. Yeah. Jordan Love called that pass play. With 13 seconds.
I guess you'd love the offensive line to hold up better and Jordan Love to not have that big loop that allowed them to bat the ball out, but you had 25 seconds left.
And like you said, there's a penalty. That's when you should have been like, right. All right, we're inside the 15. Let's take a knee here. Let's go to the locker room.
Yes. Let's
Cowboys
get out of
the ball
it.
Back at half.
Yes. Yeah. The scenario didn't make sense to me, and that's one thing. And I know I said it last week, but that and what we've seen over the past 2 weeks from Matt LaFleur, not speaking of anybody else, Rich Bisaccia, Jeff Hafley, the Packers defense at all, I don't know if Matt LaFleur is the guy that's going to take them to a Super Bowl and to win it. It seems like the game gets too big for him. It seems like he doesn't know where to go, and he's kind of just throwing stuff at the wall and hoping something sticks. There was a caller earlier today on Wilde and Tausch, and he brought up something I really found interesting. He said, back in the day, even when the Packers didn't have their best game, when Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback, it felt like they would win a bunch of games they shouldn't have because they executed the end of game scenario so well.
Little things.
Yes, they got out, they got into field position, they put themselves in position to win, and they just got it done. It wasn't always the prettiest, it wasn't always the best game from Aaron Rodgers or the offense, but they were always in position to win a game. And it feels like the exact opposite is happening. And I certainly think Jordan Love has some piece of that, but I don't think Jordan Love has any responsibility in what happened yesterday. I think maybe you could say he has to have better awareness in that late game situation in overtime, but also his coach is in his ear.
Yeah, it seems like Matt LaFleur during interviews and press conferences acts like this very secluded guy. Like he's got this like he's way smarter than you almost is how he acts. But
yes.
I'm starting to think he might just not know what the hell he's doing. I think he he acts like he's he plays coy.
Yes.
Is that the right way to put it?
Uh-huh.
I think he actually just has no idea what he's doing. Like the trusting your gut thing.
Yeah.
In the age we live in where analytics is king, even the guys like Dan Campbell who can be seen as he goes with his gut because he goes for it on fourth down so much, still uses the analytics on whether or not what play to call, what situations to take a shot here. And for him to not just be all right, yeah, whatever, I'm going with the win. You got to have a plan. Are you going to be aggressive or not? You got to pick a side. You can't be both.
Yeah, I just don't know how much forgiveness we need to keep extending Matt LaFleur in these types of situations. I remember, we all remember, everybody from Pardon My Take will mention it too. I think they played it for Matt LaFleur when he kicked a field goal to stay down 2 scores.
We made a 1-possession game and 1-possession game. Or I think he was down 8 and they kicked a field goal from the. They laid out the whole scenario.
And when that happened, I said, "Hey, that's a young head coach, hasn't been in this situation. We can give a guy hey, you get one of these mistakes." But then, as his career's continued, it seems like they keep popping up. And aside from fully just going and giving in to analytics and saying we're just going to trust the numbers, I don't know what to do, because it seems like whatever decision he makes when it comes to decision time, he's going to make the wrong run. And that's not me just having 2020 as hindsight. As that 4th and 2 was happening, I was thinking, why are we not going for this? I know you trust the defense and that's great, but this situation here is a time to be aggressive.
It felt like the game It's a get-right game. Get in your bag. Like, go for anything that you want to do and give your team the confidence that they need coming off of a loss. I don't know why you don't, just give it all you got and trying to get that fourth down and go score and put them away. Like
he does seem to lack the step on their throat, put them away thing, and the all gas, no blank and breaks thing is going to continue to hound him and nip at his heels because every time he does stuff like this, everyone looks at it and goes, well, what the hell happened there? It was just one quote. He said it one time, but something like that sticks with you.
People don't forget.
No, and I haven't.
Well, so
I do have...
I've got.
Go ahead.
I real quick. I've got two things, just because my fanhood's being called out in the YouTube chat, so I want to just address that right away here.
Whoa.
This was more of me just being a stubborn idiot than it was me not being a fan. I watch every one of the Cowboys games, and if I can't watch them, I usually listen to their radio broadcasts on Sirius. Like, I pay attention. I made a statement on the show, and I had to live up to it. As much
it was
of
a classic classic backed yourself into a corner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I wasn't watching, and I was too stubborn for far too long. The second part and the actual part of this with Matt LaFleur is this just feels like a different version of the Aaron Jones needs 20-plus touches a game conversation from a few years ago, where it was like we constantly kept having the same exact conversation.
Yes,
and
exactly.
now it's just evolved into whether or not he should be aggressive or not. And at some point, I understand the callers that on Wilde and Tausch this morning were saying maybe it's time to move on from Matt LaFleur. I understand it's early in the season. They could bounce back, still win the Super Bowl. They have the talent to do it. But I get as a fan base being like, I don't know if this is going to happen. Maybe we got to move on as a franchise.
Here's one thing I can tell you right now with the way the first weeks have gone. In the offseason, Ed Policy said he's not going to give extensions to neither Brian Gutekunst nor Matt LaFleur. If you were to ask him today, hey, you have to choose. It's week 5. You have to pick. Are you going to extend Matt LaFleur or let him be a lame duck? I think he says he's going to be a lame duck. Or he'll get the 1-year extension, but we'll be back in this situation again next year. Like, you would think with the way the first 2 weeks started, you would have been signing him to that contract and saying, we need this guy around. Let's keep him around. And then you play the Browns, you lose to the Browns, and then you tie the Cowboys, and everyone's going, wait, these are teams you should have beat. These are teams that are going to not be playoff teams. And you performed like that, your team looked like that, and you made the decisions you've made that affected the outcome of the game the way you did. Those people there's no reason to give Matt LaFleur any assurance.
We could talk talent on the team all we want, but after this offseason and the moves they made for Micah Parsons and to draft Matthew Golden, that conversation's out the window.
Yes.
It's no longer, we need this, we need that. It is squarely, his fingerprints, Matt LaFleur's fingerprints are all over the past 2 losses. You could say it's the interception on Jordan Love and the little things, but when you go back and you watch the game or you're watching the game live, you can feel when the game turns, and it all comes back to decisions that Matt LaFleur made.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. And that to me is the thing that's really sticking in my craw. The one thing that's really bugging me is coaches are going to make mistakes. They're not going to be perfect. Your players aren't going to be perfect. But I can't live with consistently being able to point the finger so directly at the head coach. You're supposed to be the one that levels the team, that corrects the mistakes, that puts them in good spots.
Elevates their play.
Right, in good situations. And it certainly seems like some weeks he's that guy. It's just so inconsistent at this point in his career, this far into his career as a Green Bay Packers head coach, that these things keep happening. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to fix it. But it seems like Matt LaFleur isn't a guy we can trust to consistently put his team in the best situation to win. And that gives me a transition here, a beautiful one. And I'm going to do something I probably have done less than 5 times in my career. I'm going to give Ben Bruss some credit.
Wow.
He posted a picture yesterday, and it was a picture that has hung with me all day. It's Matt LaFleur and Rich Bisaccia doing their classic conferring with one another, because Rich Bisaccia is the assistant head coach. He is the guy who is there to help them with their game time and game day decision making. And he has been nothing but a disappointment. Since the day he set foot in Green Bay, the best thing to happen to him is he had a good kicker at first. Then Keyshawn Nixon, a guy he brought over from the Raiders, ended up returning kicks, which he had never done previously with Rich Bisaccia, and then was able to score some touchdowns. And then, after the disaster of the kickers, they ended up landing Brandon McManus through a scenario which he typically would not be available to them. He handpicked Anders Carlson. They brought in Narveson, who STROUF famously
Narv Dog
said they've got their kicker of the future because he made one kick, I believe, in a preseason game prior to that. And now, as has been the story to many Packers losses, the special teams contributed to a loss in a way that is frankly unacceptable. It is the second week in a row they had a blocked field goal. And I want to toss here to Matt LaFleur discussing that, Hunter. Matt LaFleur talking about the second field goal blocked in consecutive weeks.
That's disappointing, obviously, 2 weeks in a row where you have a kick blocked. So, I thought we did a lot of good things throughout the course of the week to try to correct the problem. Obviously, it wasn't enough.
What is that? It wasn't enough. Yeah, no, duh.
And it's so clearly an operational thing and a strategy thing. It's not, we don't have good enough guys on the edge that can seal the edge and prevent the guy from blocking the field goal. No, it's your philosophy as a special teams coordinator is trash. Were you watching the kick returns?
Yes.
Cavante Turpin was easily getting to the 45 at will.
We almost lost Brandon McManus to injury because he was the last guy to stop him.
That should not happen. Your kicker should not have to make a tackle.
Right. It's not just the ineffectiveness of the field goal protection team. Those guys are committing. I don't know if any of you, you probably not will. I don't know if you ever played football, Hunter, but on a field goal team, when you're doing protection, you anchor down and you step down. And the guy, I think it was Fitzpatrick or Musgrave. Yeah, just didn't do that. And the guy went right in between them. That's like I learned that when I was playing tackle football in like 7th and 8th grade.
And who was it? It was Kraft last week?
Yes.
Same exact spot, too.
And they got blown up on the left side. This time it was the right side. So they get another one blocked. It's a 3-point swing because what would have been a 1-point extra point then turns into 2 points for the Cowboys. That's not to mention, like you said, the kick returns that felt like it was just going to score every time.
It was unbelievable. Like, they literally were in field goal range within 2 plays
Instantly.
every single time.
Yes.
I think that was the biggest reason why they kept scoring. Was you get the ball at the 45 every time, more than likely you're going to have a good chance when you have that little field to work with.
Correct. And then,
awesome offensive mind, by the way. Shoddy's incredible. I kind of love that man.
I do respect him a lot more after this week.
I'm gonna move past all those comments. I don't have time
just because a certain team last week kind of put him in a box.
Yeah, but you lose a top 5 wide receiver in the middle of the game, kind of changes everything. Dude has a week to prep. Oh, watch out, he's Andy Reid.
All right. I've had enough Brian Schottenheimer talk. And then punt return. The guys they have returning punts, they ended up sticking Romeo Doubs back there, a guy who's wearing a guardian cap because of his history of concussions. He hasn't returned punts since his rookie year, where I believe he did it twice, and then dates even further back to Nevada. Matthew Golden can't seem to figure that out. A guy who also never returned punts when he was in college. The spin move to get lit up, crazy. The fact that they then went end around to him 2 plays later after he got absolutely smoked, confounding.
Bizarre.
Keyshawn Nixon seemingly can't do it. The fact they haven't been able to find the right guy to do that job is confounding. And it all leads back to Rich Bisaccia.
If only they signed somebody that could have done it in the offseason and then cut him from the practice squad.
It's just how somebody can continually to continue to disappoint in this way, it's reminiscent in a way of Joe Barry. He is the new Joe Barry, and I don't think we're just scapegoating one guy. I spent the whole, 15 minutes of this program talking about Matt LaFleur. But Rich Bisaccia has to go.
When Romeo Doubs is back there too, you're essentially waving the white flag on a punt return. He's not fast. He's there to catch the ball, to be safe, to not fumble it. And even on some of the ones Matthew Golden did field,
he let it
bounced off the shoulder pads, hold your breath a little bit. And I think it's weird with punts because obviously, it could be a big vantage point in a game where you could take advantage of good field position and weak special teams coverage, like the Cowboys did to the Packers. But it's also a safe spot where you don't want to fumble it.
Yes.
But it just feels like the Packers are just rolling over on it. They're so scared to make a mistake when that shouldn't be the case. You should be wanting to take advantage of the other team's mistake.
Yeah. I mean, anytime anything's happening on special teams, I'm holding my breath.
I've been there before too, and it is the worst.
And it's been like that for multiple years with Rich Bisaccia. He was brought in to fix the issue. He was given the ability to sign guys in free agency and draft guys that were going to be his guys on special teams. We gave him all of this space to be successful, and the Packers went from the worst special teams in all the NFL to the third worst.
Big ups.
Paid all that money to improve from the worst to one of the worst.
I also think, like we've been talking about, a lot of the guys that have been fielding punts and playing on special teams didn't play special teams in college or previously.
Yes.
But it definitely is something that's teachable.
Yeah, correct.
It's not rocket science to figure out how to catch a punt and run to where you're getting blockers. The fact that he has not been able to instill any success within, and it consistently pops up. It has never not popped up. The playoff game last year, what was it? The opening kickoff was fumbled?
Yes.
Because Keyshawn Nixon ran into one of his own blockers or something like that.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't a fumble, but it got called one anyway. But I just don't understand how there has not been some just overarching solution to this problem where he has some sort of mantra or some solution. It's mind-boggling.
He is committing fraud. He's stealing the Packers faithful.
It is such a bigger stab in the heart too that he's getting paid so much money. If he was one of the lowest paid guys, be oh, okay, we'll just fire him.
Which is what the Packers used to do. They used to try and wiggle their way out of that situation by committing as little as possible money to that job. And now they made a change on it, and it hasn't improved.
The thing is, though, too, I don't think the money should matter at this point. It's bad enough. You have to just eat the money.
Oh, absolutely.
It's costing them too many games now.
Yes, correct. I'm not as caught up on, and I don't even know if it's still accurate that he's the highest paid special teams coach, because as we know, everybody's getting paid more and more. It's the fact that he was supposed to be the savior. He isn't the savior, and it's continually part of the equation of the Packers losing football games.
It's more so just a bad reflection on the team that you thought so highly of him to pay him that much money, and he's losing you games, essentially.
Yeah. Before we get to stock up and stock down here, which is not going to be a pretty one, that's for sure, I do want to talk briefly about the defense. Going into that game, I didn't think the Cowboys would look totally hapless. I think Dak Prescott's a good quarterback. I think George Pickens is talented. Jake Ferguson is good enough to catch some balls, move the chains. And Javonte Williams has been playing a way he had never previously played in the NFL. So there's talent there. And as Frank Winters always said, those guys get paid too. So I didn't think it was going to be Browns-esque in terms of incompetence. I didn't think they'd score some points. I certainly did not factor in 40 points on offense at any point. And I guess hand up on that one. That was a mistake by me. I don't know how many other people were predicting.
I definitely didn't see it coming. I don't think a lot of people did after they scored 14 points on a battered Bears defense last weekend, too.
Yeah, and I don't know if I'm going to have a good answer. The best thing I've come up with thus far is the Vikings committed so desperately to stopping Micah Parsons, and they did for the most part. But their singular focus seemed to be, and as we anticipated it would be, was not let Micah be a factor in this game really at all. And what we saw was the rest of the guys who we had thought been playing better throughout the season along that defensive line not really do anything. I saw Rashawn Gary get absolutely stuffed multiple times. Lucas Van Ness barely made his presence known. And when you aren't getting pressure, those guys in the defensive backfield are going to be susceptible to some talented players on offense. I mean, Kevontae Turpin is certainly no, technician of the wide receiver position, but he's fast.
Yeah, I wasn't dragging him down when he was returning it against Rich Bisaccia's special teams unit, but he actually is the best kick returner in the NFL.
Isn't he actually a track star, Hunter?
Yeah,
he's that fast. Yeah.
Yeah. I believe, I know that for the Cowboys, he's got some of the fastest times of all of the drills that they'll do. He's ridiculous. Are you with the Micah conversation in the D-line? Let's hypothetically say what he did on Sunday night is what you get in a playoff game. Are you feeling okay about the trade at that point? It's too early in the season to say who won or lost this trade. But if you get that again, where really that was a tackle for no gain and not a sack, are you fine with that, Josh?
I think it's different in a playoff game, and I think there was a lack of creativity from Jeff Hafley, which is something we haven't seen. You certainly would want more, but to me, taking one singular, say it was a playoff game, and then saying, well, that wasn't good enough, that's why we lost, I don't think that's fair, because there are 10 other guys out there, and when that much attention is being given to Micah, I saw him double and triple teamed yet again on multiple occasions, and at that point, you're well, can I really expect him to win?
He's double and triple teamed by backups.
True.
Their starting left tackle went out with a concussion. They had their backup center and their backup right guard. Yeah, but it's, again, for how great he is supposed to be if you're giving him quarterback money, on top of the fact that if, say, he does this in a playoff game, that'll be 5 playoff games where he has not shown up except for the one sack he got late against Tom Brady. I just think there's a certain point where we got to have the conversation about Micah Parsons. I'm just putting that out there as keep that in the back of your mind. Maybe it has to happen. I don't want it to. I don't dislike the guy. I'm bitter about how everything went down in Dallas still, but just maybe keep that in the back of your mind.
I'm not going to keep it in my back of my mind, but I know you'll do that for me. So.
Yes, I will.
I like how we just hypothetically played this out as a playoff game. Technically, that was a playoff game last night.
That was Hunter. Is there a bigger game on the schedule coming up for you guys?
No. Because the Eagle game will be the Eagle game. I don't expect playoffs from the Cowboys. I'm kind of in a spot where I want the Cowboys to actually lose these games to get a better draft pick, because I know the Packers won't do it late in the season. So I'm just okay. Whatever. The tie's great. It hurts them and puts them further down on the wins. So this kind of worked out for the Cowboys in the best way. And I think it's going to end up hurting the Packers when it comes to playoff seeding. So this was absolutely a win for me. I'm ecstatic.
The Cowboys should just try to tie every game.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Oh, that'd be incredible.
Over to the YouTube chat, I see Ron in the key, who this morning, by the way, I don't know if either of you were listening. I know you were here late, Will, but he called, and I had done a live read and accidentally left my microphone on, and I responded as I always do when he calls, and I said, "What do you want?" So the people listening in the audience are probably like, what the heck is that guy?
How rude he is to the callers.
But Ron says the tackle was worth half a win in the standings. Infinite worth. To be fair, I think he scores there. I think
Dak
could save the game.
There's no.
Yeah, but Edgerrin Cooper had already missed 4 tackles.
Dak had all the momentum going into Edgerrin, who was flat-footed.
I've seen Dak try to make that play in that exact spot. He's great at the QB draw from the start. I don't think he scores on that spot. I think Edgerrin Cooper does enough to at least even slow him down and somebody else gets there. I didn't think he was going to score there.
Well, that's a differing of opinion on there. I just felt like watching it live and then watching it back, Adrian Cooper feels like he's a hair on fire guy, and if you make a move on him, he's probably going to whiff in that spot. Also seen as he had whiffed more than probably ever before in that game. Interestingly enough, and it doesn't make me feel any better, Micah was graded as the best player in all of the NFL.
Wild.
Yesterday.
Quiet, best performance ever.
And this is the situation. This is a situation where I, like many stats, the ones that you like and confirm your priors are the ones that you agree with and tout. And then when it doesn't, you go, well, I just disregard that.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about it. I didn't feel like Micah played bad. They clearly didn't want to run at him much. They didn't want anything to do with him. And I thought he did have multiple wins in the past where they just got the ball out on him quickly. So yeah,
I'm not sure how the PFF grades work officially, especially I know it's different with linemen compared to skill players, but I feel like off the top of my head, I could have counted a couple more notable performances throughout the day. But.
Yes, most certainly. But it is what it is. We're running out of time here quick on us. Let's get to stock up, stock down. If you've been listening to this program, you know I have absolutely zero stock up. So I'm going to do two of my stock downs because we've already sort of addressed them. So I'm going to rattle them off right away here. My first one is Rich Bisaccia, the guy we spent minutes talking about. Continually the most disappointing asset the Green Bay Packers have. He's worse than what we thought of Lucas Van Ness when he was getting blocked by backup tight ends. He continues, and his unit, his defense, which makes me so upset now. You can't have a cute name when you suck ass.
No, I wouldn't even call it a cute name. It's just like a cringy name. It's not even clever.
That name's Turbo Ass.
Yeah, it is. I've been on the fire Rich Bisaccia for a long time now. I'm continuing to be there. I think it's very unlikely he ends up fired, but I think he's done everything to be fired at this point. He deserves a firing, despite Matt LaFleur not doing it because, for whatever reason, he's allergic to firing guys on his staff that are the reason he's losing football games. So Matt LaFleur ultimately gets the loss on his record, and he's going to have to live with any more mistakes that they have. And then another stock down, Matt LaFleur. We talked about the extension stuff. He's approaching a lame duck season. Right now, Matt LaFleur has been the direct, or one of the direct reasons the Packers are 0-1-1 in their past two games. A team that has seemingly given up MVP performances to every quarterback they face. Caleb Williams had a get-right game. He looked like a first overall pick.
4 touchdowns.
And Jordan Love looked great. But the Bears, aside from, after the first quarter, they cruised in that game.
Yeah, it was like 14-13 at one point, and then I think it was 34-14 final.
And a team with the fourth best Super Bowl odds goes into Dallas on Sunday night and ends up in a 40-40 tie, stock down to Matt LaFleur. I've been on Matt LaFleur's case, and I don't think I'm going to be getting it off it anytime soon.
I got to stock up for you. Let's get some positivity in here. Stock up the bye week. We knew it would be nice a couple weeks ago with all the injuries to Zach Tom and the offensive line, but the value of the bye week has skyrocketed. And I don't know, it's kind of concerning that it seems like people are grateful that they have a bye week in week 5. But I think with all the madness going on, it sucks to go into the bye week with a little bit of uncertainty on your mind, especially what we've watched the past 2 weeks. But I think it's must needed for this team, a reset from all the madness and to get some of their players healthy. Stock up the bye week.
I feel like you're trolling me.
What?
I feel like you're trolling all the Packers fans. There's nothing I want more than to forget what's happened the previous 2 weeks.
Yes or no, before the game yesterday, they needed to buy more. I worded that really badly.
I don't know what that means.
What?
But to be totally honest,
you happy? Are you happier that they have a bye week than you were before the game yesterday?
Yes.
Like if they would have came out and won by 50, you would have wanted them to play again this week, right?
Probably.
So you could see it again.
But I'm also concerned, like, on one hand, I want to get rid of the nasty taste I have in my mouth from tying the garbage franchise and Jerry Jones, who we'll get to later in this program. I want to go out and see a win. I'm going to ignore that. I'm pretending that didn't happen. We're moving on. I know I'm in enemy territory despite being on ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube right now. I've got two combatants against me, but I want to get rid of this taste in my mouth, and having to sit with it another week just doesn't feel good. I'm going to give you my last stock down here before Will gives a one more. I believe he's got another stock up for us. I'm going to give a stock down to talking trash to fans of other teams. I learned a lesson, and it's a mistake I don't usually make. I hardly ever talk trash before my team has the result in hand. And I was watching the Bears and Raiders game, and my God, was that an awful looking game.
You're not wrong.
Caleb Williams had more batted passes than I've ever seen at any level of the NFL. Ashton Genty looked awesome.
He was great.
The passing game for the Raiders, horrible.
Fickle ass.
Yes. The passing game for the Bears for most of the game looked horrible. Mm-hmm. But then they go down and they score and they win 25-24.
25-24 in a way that I've seen the Bears lose this game before.
Yes.
Like, this stuff does not happen to Bears fans. Like, we don't get lucky.
I got out over my skis, and then I paid the price of this morning when I walked in. On the computer down here that we all share, Will had up the box score and the final result of the Bears over the Raiders, and I think a note that said just good morning. So here's my lesson. Even if Caleb Williams looks like ass, even if he's the third best 2024 quarterback of the day, you gotta hold your tongue until your team goes out and gets the W.
I've been in your position more times than I can count. I've gotten burned. Trust me. No matter how many times you get burned the rest of your life, it'll never be as many times as I've been burned.
Oh, yeah.
My one piece of advice for you is when you are talking trash, you got to give yourself an out. Like, you gotta include like a little sentence where you're like, oh, but I gave him that credit. Like, that's you gotta get a loophole in there. Like, if you're gonna talk trash about the Bears, be like, well, I never said the Packers were good.
Yeah.
You gotta finagle your way around it. But I got my last stock.
The thing is, in those situations, throughout my life, it rarely ever comes back to bite me.
No. Like, the roles here have been reversed many a times. Yes. Where the Packers would block a field goal in a game that they played horrible, and then the Bears would tie a bad team. Like, I'm in unfamiliar
Uncharted
territory.
waters.
2 weeks in a row, it's gone the Bears' way and not the Packers. That never happens. Last stock up for me, Jerry Jones. It's not a win. I'm not counting the trade as a win yet, but people thought it was a loss. And now I'm going to consider it a tie, a stalemate, a 40-40. So Jerry Jones stock up from being a loss on the trade to now it's kind of just a wash. It's even.
Yeah.
Even trade.
All right.
This is a 50-50 on the ESPN Fantasy Football app trade predictor.
All right, Hunter. I know you've got some audio there, and since Will mentioned it, we might as well listen to it. It's going to hurt my feelings. This is Jerry Jones yesterday victory lapping a tie with the Green Bay Packers.
They got Micah, and we've got what we've got, and we tied.
Shout out Jerry, good GM.
Yeah.
Even trade. Jerry and Goody, no fleecing, even trade.
And I know there's perspective going on here, and that's part of the deal. The fact that he gets to throw it in my face that tie's a win for them with that stupid accent, that damn drawl, stupid.
I never have loved Jerry Jones more.
I mean,
it's awesome.
And the thing is, I don't even disagree with him.
No.
He did get the win. He does get to gloat. It was a tie, and it'll be a tie in the record books. But that was a massive win for the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones.
Shout out Goody. Shout out Jerry. Super even trade. 40-40. Wash. I'm washing the trade. It's like it never happened.
Unbelievable.
Great for both teams.
And now
All
just
right,
imagine
that's it for
when the Cowboys get another Micah Parsons type of defensive player. Because as long as they don't draft from Michigan, they're great.
Yeah. That's it for stock up, stock down. I have a feeling Will's weekend review.
It's nice.
It's not.
Like you said, we don't want to get burned here. It's nice. It's nice.
I was anticipating a little more gloating, but you've learned your lessons.
It's an honest recap of the Packers game yesterday.
Hey, you had to stand in the fire. What was it, 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? So here I am, accepting my lumps.
It won't be my last time in the fire, I feel like. There's another one coming soon.
We do have the image of you throwing your sweatshirt in frustration. I don't think you realized you were still on camera
No,
at the
I did not. That was the day the air conditioning down here was broken, and you guys were trying to rile me up. Saying Michael Penix is better than Caleb. I started sweating.
All right.
The fact that actually worked on you was incredible, too, by the way.
Yeah.
Michael Penix is old. I should have known you guys were messing around. He's like 40.
All righty, it's time now for Will's weekend review.
What? Let's go to AT&T Stadium where the Packers were in Dallas to take on the Cowboys. And Romeo Fobbs was the key to the Packers offense all night. He had 6 catches for 58 yards and 3 touchdowns. Whoop! Up 13-9 late in the second quarter. Jordan Love dropped back to pass, and James Houston said, "Jordan, you have a problem," and forced a fumble to give the Cowboys prime field position with seconds left in the half. The first play on the next drive was easy pickings as Dak found George to give the Cowboys a 16-13 lead going into the half. Whoop! Midway through the third quarter, Josh dusted off the J cobwebs from the first 3 weeks and capped off a big drive with a touchdown run. Packers up 20-16. Late in the third, Dak didn't need no yak from Jake Ferguson as he hit him in the end zone to take back the lead 23-20. Down 3 late in the fourth, Brandon McMahon, I thought this was going to be an easy win, hit a 53-yard field goal to send the game into overtime. And on the Cowboys' first drive, Brandon Aubrey Graham wanted to say, "Just hold on, we're going home," to the Packers and hit a field goal to take the lead. But the Packers offense looked like a pirate with the ball in overtime as they Love Golden hooked up on a 4th down to give the Packers a chance to win. Then Matt LaFleur did his best middle school girl impression and was super indecisive and on if he wanted to win or tie as McManus kicked another field goal to end the game in a tie, 40-40 stalemate. What? With your Will's Weekend Review, I'm Will Summers. What?
Thank you, Will.
Nice.
Wonderful as always.
It's just a good recap. No shots.
I'm surprised you didn't find a way to weasel in what you had happened in your favorite team, the Bears game.
It wasn't a great game. You weren't wrong.
I did anticipate a little more victory lapping, but
no, I mean we're used to winning now. Like it's normal now.
Just a winning program.
This is the standard of the Chicago Bears.
Another Sunday.
Yeah, you just win.
Another 1-point victory against the Las Vegas Raiders. It's just another weekend of football for Will.
I mean, and like I said last week, the Cowboys were good, and the Bears just outplayed them last week. So, it's just the new standard of Chicago Bears football.
All right,
are we able to move the Dallas Cowboys into frisky ass? Because we had them in turbo ass after the Bears game, but you tie with a team that has Super Bowl aspirations like the Packers, and they played the Eagles close. I think they deserve.
I'm gonna put
frisky.
the Cowboys into the. I think we should put them in the playoffs.
I think what we should do is on Wednesday reevaluate all our tiers.
Yeah.
The Cowboys are certainly deserving of an upgrade.
I mean, they also played the Eagles close to first game of the year. People forget. I do think with everything that's being said about how poorly the Packers played, I do think the Cowboys are a lot better than people give them credit for and gave them credit for coming into this
their
week.
offense.
Yes.
Their defense still.
When you have the best offensive mind in the NFL and Schottenheimer running things with a week of prep, man.
All right. I know this might not be what our audience wants at this very moment, but I need to talk about something else. I need to get my mind off of football. You can listen to KBN after this. You can listen to Jim, Matt, and Molly. Even Pato from the Pato Monday Night Show. They'll all be talking Packers.
6 to 8.
For my own mental health and for maybe a little kumbaya amongst the group here, I want to talk about the Milwaukee Brewers. This weekend, they won 1 out of 3 games against the Cincinnati Reds. They did secure the first overall home field throughout in the NL. They did that not because they were winning games, but because other teams were losing them. So they benefited there, but they did manage to set the franchise record for wins at 97, which is something to be applauded. Something to be, by the way, we had somebody calling the program here for multiple minutes, and Dylan's back there, and I had him answer the phone call to see what was going on, and he's still on the phone with that person.
Maybe it's a giveaway or something then?
I don't know.
I wasn't even aware that was happening. Good ups on you.
I wanted to make sure we weren't like going out over the air or something was wrong.
Usually we get texts, so there's no text.
But now he's been locked in a 5-minute conversation.
This happened to me like last week. I forget. Somebody called me and was asking me about the Bears during this program.
I love our callers, but there is a skill to, I can't talk to you right now. I need to get off of the phone and try and get out of the conversations. If you're not used to it, you can get pulled into some wild conversations.
Yeah. So, but I want to talk about the Milwaukee Brewers, and I'm calling this the Visions from a Polluted Mindset Milwaukee Brewers edition. I am getting, and I'm trying to resist them, but I can't help them, and I want to know where you guys are as well. I'm getting very, very, very bad vibes about this Milwaukee Brewers team heading into the postseason. The inability to hit over the past month is really making me worry. And I know teams get hot, teams get cold, guys perform that hadn't performed during the regular season and the postseason, vice versa. Anything can happen. It's the postseason. Things change. But with the history of the Milwaukee Brewers and the history of the way things have gone for the Milwaukee Brewers in recent years, I'm starting to get really, really worried that even though they're skipping the wild card round this year, which is a huge win.
Massive.
Huge win. More games is better for a team like the Milwaukee Brewers. They're the type of team that wears on you. They affect you over the long run. That's the type of situation they need to be in. But adding the fact that the hitting, and I'm not going to say I was right. I'm not going to do that yet. But I'm concerned.
Nor do you want to.
No, never. Actually, I really don't in this situation. I'd love to be the most wrong person in human history. Add the fact that the hitting struggling and the pitching being decimated the way it is. We have no idea where to use Jacob Mizorowski. None whatsoever. Brandon Woodruff, I think, is done for. I think the way Pat Murphy talked about that has me very worried, and it has me worried about the start of next season even included in there, because he said he was devastated about that injury. We've got a little layoff here. How do I erase those bad thoughts and get back into a positive mindset? The Brewers are the best team in baseball, and they're going to hit the ground running. They're going to make a World Series. They're going to do what they need to do.
So in baseball, some of the best teams I've been on, again, I can't really relate to playing in the major leagues, but some of the best teams I've been on where we've made runs in the postseason have been when our lowest points came right before the end of the regular season. So in terms of the hitting and the product on the field, I'm not super worried about that. I am kind of glad they get the week off till Saturday. I think that's big, and they needed that, because the last thing you want to do when you're not playing good baseball is play more baseball, especially in the postseason where you only have a finite amount of losses to give. But I think also getting the week off with the pitching is going to be big. Woodruff and Quintana being on the IL, I think it'll give them a lot of time, obviously, but that's just something, like you said, it just feels like such a Brewers thing where it's like the first round you have this phenomenal regular season, and then of course the dominoes just fall off the table right before the postseason. Everything you had going for you just falls apart at the same time. But weirdly enough, I feel oddly confident in regardless of who they play in the postseason. The Padres or the Cubs, I think that they match up well against them, and I think they just have to stick to their guns and play their game. You know, like if they can, the pitching is going to be the biggest determinant for them. If they can keep it low scoring and give their offense time to grind out those runs like they usually do with the bunts and the walks and, you know, the moving guys over, I think they'll be fine.
I mean, I think it's what you kind of said there, Josh, of the fact that these teams, other than the Dodgers and the Padres, nobody else is really playing well right now. Like, the Phillies they're 5-5 over their last 10. I know
no
the
one
Mets
in the
didn't
NL.
get in. Yeah, and like that's the thing. It's like everybody other than the Dodgers have finally kind of gotten healthy, and that worries me come NLCS if they get there. Like, everybody else is playing poorly, so I think it's just going to be gross baseball from the NL. Like, you're not going to see a billion home runs in the NL playoffs. You'll see that in the AL, and it's going to be the grinded out at-bats, okay, we got somebody on second, let's bunt him over to third, sac fly, we got a one-run lead. Great, that's going to win the game. That, I think, is what we're going to see throughout the NL, and that plays right into the Brewers' hands. So I'm feeling fine. I think they can figure out a way to get something. If they're going to use the Miz at all, use him for an inning. Do not give him multiple innings and just throw gas for 10 pitches and get out of there. Do something else. He cannot handle more than one inning right now.
Yeah, that's been the most interesting development. And if he were pitching the way we saw him pitch to begin his MLB career, imagine how good we would feel. Even with missing Woodruff, it'd be like, hey, between Freddie, Quinn Priester, and The Miz, we've got all we need. We can figure out that fourth starter. We can get a spot start from one of the guys that we have around here.
Anybody, yeah.
Right. With those three guys good to go, you feel a lot better. And the fact that he's become, honestly, a guy I don't know if they're going to trust in the playoffs at all.
I don't.
Like in a high leverage situation, I can't imagine them going to him. Now, if they have a considerable lead and they can sort of, cut off the bleeding early and get him out of there if they need to.
Get him to eat some innings.
Right. And then we can establish some confidence. But right now, there's a real situation where we don't see Jacob Mizorowski in the playoffs at all. And I think that would probably be the right move.
From what we've seen from him, I don't think you can fully trust him, like you said, in a high leverage situation. And it kind of goes to just the way he pitches, where he is a fireballer. He's going to throw hard. And if he's going to miss out of the zone, it's going to be far off. He's going to miss high and up. Yeah. It's not going to be close. And in the playoffs, walks are going to eat you alive. And it's the little ones, right? Like, you walk the leadoff guy. That's massive in the playoffs. You bunt him over to second, you're out of runner in scoring position with one out. So I think they should just stick with their guns and, like you said, big lead maybe. Right. Not in a high leverage situation. I don't think he's shown us enough to trust him in that situation.
I don't know if you guys did. Hunter made me feel a little bit better about if it's a grinded out in the NL side. Well, the Brewers are primed for that. That's their type of ball. If there's a situation where either the Cubs or Padres come out and look gangbusters and are just hitting dingers and scoring runs at will, then I think my panic will even increase. It's just, I was watching the game. I went to the game on Friday. Boring. Great. The Brewers did great. They gave away 2 ticket vouchers, some fridge magnets for 2025. The in-stadium experience was wonderful. The product on the field, not so wonderful. Watched the game on Saturday. That one didn't feel good really at any point either. And now I'm just in a spot where it's left a bad taste in my mouth. And I don't want to feel this way, but I'm feeling this way more and more.
It's.
I don't know if I should. I'm going to say it. Do we think they got rid of the euchre magic because of the fake letter? Because that's when this really got bad. And if we're going to talk about how it was euchre magic all season and pocket pancakes and the power of friendship, we got to look at it the other way. And the fake letter thing might be what's doing them in.
I think there's something to the effect of when that happened, they had already clinched the first round bye, and with all the injuries, they kind of took their foot off the gas a little bit. I just think it's going to be tough for them to turn it back on, because with teams like the Reds, who are fighting for their absolute life in their season at the end of the season, they're just going to carry that right into the postseason. So for the Brewers to kind of be doing that, hitting their stride in mid-July, and then having to turn it back on right now is kind of what worries me, but I don't think there's any Mal magic there with the euchre letter.
I'm going to pretend that Hunter never said that and move right on to what we missed, what we
Why
learned.
do you hate me so much, Josh?
It's brought to us by Door County Distillery. Handcrafted, award-winning spirits. Try out their vodkas, their gins, their whiskeys. It is the fall, so it is whiskey season. It is the time I find myself having some more, so try their single malt whiskey. Drink it on its own, make a nice little fancy cocktail, do whatever you want with it, but go out and get yourself some Door County Distillery. They're the best. They treated us the best. We had a blast there, and I hope we are able to go back soon. Amongst all the MLB playoffs on the verge here, the regular season ending, the Packers tying, today is Bucks Media Day. And today, saw a little tweet come across from my good friend Eric Name. Eric Name tweeted out that John Horst has announced that Giannis is not in attendance for Media Day because he has COVID. 1, I didn't know people were still getting COVID. 2, I'm awfully suspicious.
Is it still considered COVID-19?
I don't know.
Or does the year change when you...
I would imagine it's COVID-19 still.
Yes, it is still.
But this from John Horst from Eric Name's Twitter. It is... oh, wait. It looks like Giannis did talk. Okay, so that makes me feel better. He was able to join the stream on Zoom and did talk to the members of the media. But John Horst said he had COVID and he was unable to leave Greece. So that makes me feel better.
I'm skeptical of the process though, because I feel like nowadays, like you said, that people still getting COVID. If you experience the symptoms, you just chalk it up to a cold nowadays. And
yeah, I guess when you're an athlete and you're traveling internationally,
that's what I was thinking is coming back to the United States, probably have to get all your tests in.
He probably, I don't know if they still have restrictions on international travel or what be it, but I mean, he's Giannis, he's got like experts around him, so I can't imagine procuring and testing. If he's feeling weird, it would make sense. So I guess we could discredit that. I'm just waiting on a negative test so I can leave my house and get on a plane and travel. I don't want to put anybody at risk. I guess
we're in the clear.
My suspicions, my conspiracy theories, any of that, I guess they should be put to the back burner. Yeah.
I feel like that's justification for you not wanting to deal with my voodoo magic of the fake letter.
Yeah, I don't like your...
That'll do it for us.
Again, why do you hate me,
Thank
Josh?
you to Will Summers.
Just address it. Why do you hate me?
I do have a quick word.
Oh.
I know we're a little late. It's actually a phrase, sticking in my craw. It's might be my favorite one I've heard you use yet. It means to be difficult or impossible to accept. The Packers tying the Cowboys was a stick in Joshy's craw.
That's 100.
Yeah.
That's your best one?
I thrive with ones like this.
And that is the first time you've heard that phrase?
Yeah.
Wow. Hunter, you've heard that one, right?
Of course I have. It's rare where you use a word and I don't know what it means.
Yeah.
So it's really annoying to me that STROUF and Will struggle this much.
All right. Good work, everybody. Will, thanks for stepping in, sitting in the co-host chair. Hunter, thanks for all your work. I don't hate you, but I don't want to talk about voodoo magic and curses and fake letters and all that. Makes me uncomfortable.
Real,
I wish it would have never happened. I wish I would have never had to even have this conversation. We'll talk to you on Wednesday. Have a good one.
Peace.